So let's look about it right now. Verse 50, when does it happen? Now I say this, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God, nor does the perishable inherit the imperishable. Basically what he's saying here is what he said before. He's saying, look, your flesh and blood, you have a human body, and it's temporary, it's temporal. The temporary cannot inherit the eternal. You're going to need something else. You're going to need something else altogether to enter into eternity. He says in verse 51, behold, I tell you in a mystery, and a mystery, by the way, is something that was hidden in the Bible and now is being revealed. He said, I'm telling you in a mystery, you will not all sleep, but we will all be changed. By the way, this is our theme of our nursery, by the way. So not all sleep, but be changed. That's the joke of the day. Sorry. For those of you who missed that, evidently. Yeah. Okay. He says, this is a mystery. I'm going to tell you. It's been hidden, but I'm about to reveal it to you. We're not all going to be dead. In fact, we won't be dead, but we are going to be raised. Notice what he says. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, the last trumpet. Now, you and I, when we're dealing with the second coming, we're dealing with things that are eternal. We start thinking about the temporary, as he said, flesh and blood, versus the eternal. Think, well, why do you have to die in the first place? Well, Ben Hayden, I found this quote from him, and he said this: I was thinking about death. We hate death. We fear death. We'll do anything and pay anything just to postpone death a few hours. But suppose you couldn't die. Do you know what that would mean? The blind would remain blind. The paralyzed would never walk. The mentally challenged would remain mentally challenged. The injustices of this world would continue to prevail. That which is crooked would remain crooked and never be straightened. The last would remain last, and the least will remain least, and the terminally ill would remain ill but never terminate, and aching hearts would continue to ache and never be healed. Suppose we couldn't die. Wouldn't that be horrible, he says, or he asks. Inside each of us yearns for a life not measured by years or by flesh. We yearn to have another crack at life, to do it over again, but to do it so differently. But wouldn't it be wonderful to die and not be dead? That's not some vague hope. That's the unchangeable promise of God. There's never a man, woman, or child in whom the risen Jesus lives who can do anything more than physically die. The real person, the real me, will survive without experiencing one moment of eternal death. Jesus' resurrection changes everything. 53 begins to talk about it, but verse 54 says, death is swallowed up in victory. Oh, death, where is your sting? Or victory? Oh, death, where is your sting? The sting of death is sin. Notice this, the power of sin is the law.